The key is quiet. Hi.
Hey, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Unwind Friday. It's your girl, Lissa Black, bringing you the heat with the little street.
And it's your girl, Marie Laws, edification coach, bringing you tools you can use.
And we
We
are
are
Sisters
Sisters
Edifying.
Edifying. You guys, I always knew that my purpose in life was edification. And on my website, I did put edification coach, but I always would say, because I'm certified in life and health coach, so I just would say certified life and health coach. But I have decided to step fully in my purpose and do edification coach.
All right, so that's what the name changed. So if you like, wait a minute, that is what she just said. That is why. So she's giving you a rundown. So what are you unwinding with?
Yeah, I'm already ready because Love Month is coming up.
Yes, and, I don't know if you guys seen my short. I was in the store and we were looking at some new drinks, or I was looking at some new drinks. So I went ahead and gave it a try, guys. Something new. Let me let y'all get into it. Here we go. Up close.
It's funny because I look like in the mirror, so just tell them that.
So it's Licks Cocktail Co. It's a hard lemonade. It says ready to drink. It's 13.9% gluten free for my ladies that say good. Made with real fruit juice. So guys, it says pour over ice and party time. So we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna give it a try. We have gave it a try, guys. I think it's all right. Will we do it again?
Absolutely.
We will do it again
On the beach.
So and it was affordable
because it's like really, it's like it tastes like lemonade.
Yeah, it's like
it's not strong. It don't have a strong. I don't know because some people who don't drink, they still act like everything's strong. But
Lorena, she does not drink, and she was able to take down some.
Lorena, did you think that it was strong when you tasted it?
For non-drinkers? Yeah, she got it.
She said it was strong for her, but for us, it tastes like a hard Mike lemonade.
Yeah, like a hard Mike lemonade. So guys, it was like about $12 at Walmart is where I found it at. Go check out our channel. You can see the information on it there. But what are you unwinding with? Drop it in the comments.
Yes, drop it in the comments. What are you unwinding with?
Oh, tonight. It's a little
like you to tell because I would like you to you on the story. Okay. So I tell them we're gonna talk about it, so you can jump right into it. So Melissa called me last night. Was that last night? I think it was last night or the night before. It was yesterday. And she wanted to read this story to me, but I couldn't even let her finish reading the story because I'm so sensitive when it comes to kids. I love kids and the youth and things like that. But it was, at schools they have this donuts with dad, muffins with moms, things that they do, which is an awesome event. It's an awesome event because they want to recognize moms and they want to, at first they used to just do it for moms, then they start doing it for dads, and they want to recognize moms and dads. But I never thought of it in a different view until Melissa told me this story. Melissa, go ahead and tell them about the story and read it to them.
Yes, but before I do that, like you said, when something does not directly affect you, sometimes you are far removed or more far removed than you know you are until something is presented or sat right in front of you and you're like, wow, that's the issue. I never would have thought of that because we were blessed to have pretty great and involved fathers for our children. So this particular story, it took me for a loop because I was not aware of. I heard of the Muffins and mom and Danish with dad, but it never meant anything with dad. So yeah,
I guess it's different on different times because over on my side of town it's donuts with dad, and both of mom I used to be mad like, why can't the mom get the donuts? I don't know. They sure know.
Okay, right. So let me give you guys the story. One of my friends that I went to school with, she posted this story, and for me, and for me, the story was heartbreaking because I had never thought about it this way. So I'm gonna not say the child name. I'm not gonna say her name for privacy reasons. But this is what she said. So for this, I'm gonna name her daughter, Molly. We'll say Molly. So she said Molly didn't want to go to school this morning, and I couldn't get her to tell me why. And finally, she told me about how this boy in her class told her she might as well not come today because they were having a daddy and me breakfast this morning, which I think isn't something they should do because it can single out, trigger, or isolate children. It can be hurtful. Instantly, I was hot. I'm still shaking, and I'm hoping I handled the situation well because I had to change my baby whole outfit due to it being soaking wet from her breaking down and crying so much. I don't agree with schools having family themed events like this. My baby is heartbroken. She doesn't understand and wonders why she has to go through what she does now. I'm out of answers. All I can do is hug her and try to change the subject to take her mind off of it. I don't know who I should bring my concerns about family themed events to, but as of right now, I'm going to reach out to the Board of Education and maybe they can lead me in the right direction. It's sad all around is what she ended with.
It's sad. But is she in the Grand Rapids, Kenwood, whatever is she in?
I believe I'm not exactly sure, but most likely I would say it's probably Grand Rapids School District.
We know people in the Grand Rapids school district that could make positive. Because I don't think it's a bad idea. Absolutely not. But I never looked at it that way with like the dad and the mom and thing like Melissa. Because sometimes when you're not experienced, just like gun violence in certain neighborhoods, it's affecting people badly every day, but it don't affect me. I don't even be knowing when people tell a life that they live in. I never experienced it. Yes, Sister Ray wrote, the kids with a father should not be punished. They're not. But if you want to say that, the kids without fathers should not be punished either because it's not their fault. So we're not saying get rid of the day. We're saying like make it Parents' Day, make it more inclusive. Where it's parents and pastries, parents and pieces. Not because the reality of it is about 80% of Black kids don't have a father in the home.
Or the family dynamic is very different,
especially
in our world today.
Some kids got two mommies, some kids have two dads. So it has to be all inclusive. Some people don't have uncles that's gonna go with them. Like when they have grandparents day at the school, I'm brokenhearted every day. My kids don't have not one. This don't affect people who have things in their life. Like me, I never would have thought about it that way. That people are at home dealing with their kids crying because of mommy with muffins and because of daddy's and donuts. We're not saying punish the kids who have those things, but at the same time, don't punish the kids who don't have those things.
We didn't do this growing up in school. Our schools didn't have mom and muffins because we probably would have been those kids with no parents there.
We had a mom and mom wouldn't have been there. So we would have been some type of way.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
But this,
dad couldn't have been there because dad lives in Chicago.
Yes. And a male figure responded to her, and he said, "I'm going to call her Carrie." He said, "Hey, Carrie, I never viewed the family-themed school events like you laid it out here. That it could isolate and alienate kids that may not have all the family dynamics."
Exactly.
Thanks for that perspective. I view it as a way to show dads equal value, as we often get left out of children well-being. Several years ago, I had the honor to accompany my granddaughter to one of those events in absence of her father. Until you can resolve the issue with the district, maybe an uncle or granddad can be an option.
So he have an uncle or granddad. Right. My kids don't have a say if my kids didn't have a father, they wouldn't have a granddad. I don't know. Most of my brothers live in Chicago. I don't know if my brother here would have took her. I don't know if an uncle would have took her. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying because I don't want people to think, oh, because my kids got this, they should be. No, it should be. We should think about everybody.
To me, that's equivalent to it's equivalent to me a Caucasian saying racism don't exist.
Yes.
If it's something that you do not ever have to deal with, something that does not affect you, you don't know how it is to be affected by it, right? So until you are in a situation where you think of your babies and you think of your babies being hurt and sobbing and saying because it's something that you can't change.
So Lisa said that's because we lived in a poor neighborhood with poor family values. And these events are happening in neighborhoods that still have those. Just because we have moved to different neighborhoods, there are still children just like we was experiencing this. Now, they didn't have those events when we were growing up, but they have them now. In Grand Rapids, most of the kids are living in poor neighborhoods and poor, what's the name? If they're not living in East Grand Rapids and certain areas of Grand Rapids. But at the school over there on off Franklin and all the schools that they consider the hood, these events happen.
Yeah.
And over in those households, there is no fathers in those households. And some no mothers, because with the new generation, the fathers have stepped up. So now what we didn't have in our generation and the baby boomers and all those, we now have a lot of single fathers now.
We do.
That we didn't have before.
In this thing, in order not to alienate or exclude, I feel like we are in a world where everybody is looking to be included. I feel like the way that the LGBTQ community fight for their equality, that this is something that should be brought to the attention. Not saying stop, but let's make it a little more inclusive. So, like we said, parents and pastries. Same thing. You can have Danishes there. You can have Muffins there. You can have mom there. You can have dad there.
Yeah, we need to pause just for a minute so my nephew Eli can. My nephew Ethan can say hi. Say hi, Ethan.
Say hi. All right.
You've been trying to get it there. Yeah, so I just want to put this next comment in for you finish. So she said, I feel out in Grand Rapids, family values are better and family support is better. Because you gotta remember, we can be blind to outside of our circle.
Right. I feel like we're still
far. So what happened is, that's what happened with people. They become far removed. So if we have a family dynamic in our house and we surround ourselves with people who have the same thing, we can block out the people, not purposely, because we're living in our own world. Everybody's living in their own world.
Because even though the thing is, we are literally talking about Grand Rapids. This has happened. The person I'm speaking about lives here in Grand Rapids. So this is a Grand Rapids issue. This is more than a Grand Rapids issue. This is a school issue because the school wants to recognize parents, and I love that. They want to highlight the fathers. I love that. They want to highlight the mothers. I love that. Because parents, it's hard being a parent, period.
So what if they, because we don't want people to feel like, oh, I'm a good dad, why I can't go support my kids, or I'm a good mom, why I can't. You absolutely can. That's what we're saying. But what we're saying is, let's not forget about those kids who don't have a mother. Let's not forget about those kids who don't have a father. Let's not forget about the kids who don't have grandparents. So why can't they just do, even if they want to keep, even if we don't get rid of fathers with donuts, dads with donuts, moms with muffins, why can't we put a parents with pastries day too?
Or parents and pizza.
Parents and pizza. So these kids are included. We're not saying stop it. Because I feel like all parents should get recognition, because being a parent is a hard job.
A single parent, baby, I don't have enough hats to take off to you. But again, the goal is to be more inclusive. Maybe
because I feel like right now that you're not being open-minded, and that's selfish thinking. So we should get rid of Father's Day. Just not again, because we have Mother's Day, we have Father's Day, they have Grandparents' Day, they have Parents' Day, they have Sons' Day, they got Dogs' Day. We got a bunch of days now.
We're not sitting here saying get rid of Father's Day donuts. Yeah, we said Mom and Muffin, Dad. We say
I care about a kid that's crying and don't want to go dramatically cry, because how many, this is just one person who shared that story. Who knew the story? How many kids are defeated crying because it's dad with donuts or moms with muffin and they don't have one. Their mom might have died from cancer early or died from some, or they dead. I'm not saying get rid of that. We're saying include them. And if you can't see that, it's something there you have to check inside your heart.
Parents and guardians, right?
Yeah, parents and guardians.
Because everybody has different
families. Exactly. Parents and guardians. Parent and sibling day.
Right.
Dad and brother day. Let's have dad and brother day. Mom and sister. So so they feel included. That's what we say. Because the reality of it is that just because right now some of us have good lives, and our kids are not experiencing what we experience. Some of us experience our kids, and some people, when I talk to people, ain't experienced nothing that I experienced.
It's like a Caucasian family saying, "Get rid of Black History Month. Get rid of Martin Luther King. We don't want it. We don't care about that." Like, you're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, you want to have to say it." And the thing is, if you don't deal with it, it does not affect you. You will read
on news articles, they upset. But they might not have an to bring them.
You don't understand
it. Like, she not getting what we said. What we said, no, I don't want to argue about it, because if a person don't get it, they don't get it. I get it. I don't want no kid crying. I know how I'm a person who kids don't have. My mother dead, my daddy dead, Antoine mother's dead. He ain't never had his father in his life. My kids, their great grandma was in their life, but now she's 90 with dementia. My kids don't have a grandparent. Never since they was a baby. So I can relate to that. Even though I had a father and a mother. Exactly. And those are kids who my heart go out to.
Stop the day. We're saying there's a better way,
or let's adjust the day, adapt the day, so all the kids feel included. So there's no kid who want to commit suicide because they don't have it, because for this day. So there's no kid at home with a mother had to change her clothes because her clothes wet, and she's screaming like murder about to happen to her because it's daddy's and donut day, and daddy abandoned her for no reason.
And she don't know why. She don't know what's going on. She just know daddy not there and another kid, because kids can be cruel. Another child told her, "You may as well not even come, because you don't have a daddy."
And we know kids don't mean it.
Right, and things like that happen, even if they did, like, things like that happen all the time. And I know there are going to be people who agree or disagree. I don't know why, because we're not saying stop it. We're not saying,
let's get rid of the days. Then it will be a reason.
Right, but we said get rid of it. We're saying, hey,
let's do something to adjust this. To be more all the little ones feel included. This is a baby who feels this way. It's not no teenager. No, this is if a little kids let a lot of stuff slide in their lives. Right. They are resilient. They deal with abuse. They deal with like a lot of stuff, and can still smile and go through life. And you'll never know they being hurt and love you and forgive you.
I mean, like, there are so many times, especially in this day and age, we go through different rights, different things, different inclusiveness, gender neutral things, pronouns. Why can't we make this more inclusive for our children? Why can't we be as bold and stand on getting things changed?
Because the reality of it is, right now, even kids who got parents who got money and good parents ain't showing up for their events. Ain't showing up for concerts, ain't showing up for sports, ain't showing up. Those kids feel the same way. They left out.
Oh, mom
and they have mom and dad in the house. Nothing. They don't have that. And it bothers, because it ain't bothering you as an adult. But I can remember, y'all, how many of you guys, when you watch this and stuff like that, comment, remember Dare? There was a program where they taught you to stay away from drugs, say no to drugs, and they take you through the whole year. You learn different things, and at the end, you graduate when you get close to school to end, and you get an award. And they have you write a poem about your life and about staying away from drugs, and one person can win. And I won out of all the school districts in Saginaw, like all the elementaries. Me and a couple other kids, and I had a friend who mom picked me up, and took me, because my mom didn't take me. My mom wouldn't take me to an award ceremony that I won out of all the districts for my poem. And she took me, and I'm standing there. We at the Civic Center. I think they changed the name to it now, but it's the Civic Center. But that's pretty big, and it's packed in there. And I'm a little girl. I'm in 5th grade. I'm graduating from 5th grade, and I'm on the stage. Nobody's there to support me. That type of stuff changes your life. And even though I got up there boldly and read my poem, and people clapped and was excited for me, none of that meant nothing.
Because the people you love.
Because the people I love wasn't there. We have children experiencing this every day. We have children who got both parents in the house, who work and thinking they making a good lifestyle for their kids, who ain't supporting them in a way that they desire to be supported.
And it still does not matter. You can give your kid, I know for a fact from a friend, you can give your kids everything material wise. You can give them everything they need, everything they want. But this person was never physically there.
Melissa, I'm gonna tell you, this right here relates. So don't you know, like in a relationship between a man and a woman, that means nothing. A lot of grown-ups seek intimacy. People who are ignorant to intimacy might think about sex, but intimacy is having a connection with a person where you can communicate, talk. You got this bond together. Kids seek intimacy too. Money can't buy intimacy. Material things can't buy intimacy. Your attention, your support is what help people, and that's even with kids. So when we brought this subject up, it was because a kid was crying his hurt, and it allowed us to see, because a lot of us
something different
see from our own worldview, you know, because even though I come from a hard knock life, I don't experience what my friends experience who had where the fathers abandoned their children, they had to raise their kids by themselves. But I'm not going to dismiss their emotions. I'm not going to dismiss their kids' emotions just because my kids aren't going through it. I'm not going to dismiss the good fathers and the good mothers in their children's lives because somebody else don't have one. But what I want to do is come up with something where these children feel included too.
And they can pick the parent, like pick a parent day, or pick a guy, like, you know, like I said, parent day. That way they don't have to say, well, who can I bring? If you say a parent, anybody that's a parent figure in their life, they know. I got a grandma.
Some of these kids are in temporary homes right now.
Right.
They not their mom or dad. They just sitting there until their mom and dad get their life together. But if you say parent day or guardian day, then anybody can show up for you.
To know they got that support. To know that they got somebody who's there for them. I'm telling you, so many times, even I brought my kids to the play, and I can still see my kids on stage looking out.
Melissa,
looking for me in the audience.
Both concerts.
Yes,
Melissa recently came to my daughter's concert, and I went to her because we believe in supporting the kids at the events when we know about them. Every last kid who stepped on that stage was looking in the crowd to see if they found their
grandma, cousin, auntie, whoever it is.
That I love, because the community that our kids is, all of the grandparents, parents, everybody was there. This don't happen in all communities.
And I'm telling you, and like I said, I brought my kids there, their grandmother with me, but it did not mean they didn't need to see me from the stage. They needed to see and feel supported.
When they see us looking for them, we
waving in the audience so they know, hi baby, I'm right here, I see you, because they want to know mama sees you. You can sit on your couch, your baby know you right there. Mama, look at me do this flip, because they need that reassurance. They need to know you are there. They need to know you are supporting them. They need to know they are safe.
It means so much when the kid putting their all into a sport, they all into something, to have somebody who loved them there. And when you win at something, you doing good at something, and everybody else parents around hugging, and you just by yourself. Some parents think that's cool because their kids don't complain about it. It's not cool. Any of y'all talk to y'all kids who y'all haven't supported in some of the things they want to do, they're gonna tell you how they really felt about it. Because if you're willing to listen, because they want you there. I know, because I was a kid who wanted my mom there. I did a lot of stuff. I won good citizenships. So I won a lot of things that I did in school. Nobody was there. Nobody was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of us who experience nobody being there. Even as an adult, when I graduated from college, if nobody would have been there in the audience for me, I would have been hurt. I would have been hurt. It's no different. The kids, they have the same feelings and emotions that we have. And we're not saying don't celebrate those single fathers. Don't celebrate, or the fathers, period. Don't celebrate the mothers. What we're saying is, let's make this where the kids can be celebrated, and no kid, no baby, from a simple event,
a simple breakfast, a simple pastry.
So that's what they deserve.
Right. Let's not bring up a traumatizing event because of pastry. When we can simply make it parent and pastries instead of mom and muffins and daddy and Danish.
It don't have to be 2 different days. Most parents don't even have to go, so make it one day.
Make it one day. Get it all done.
You know what, sister? Even though you're making those comments, how many muffin with moms have you been to?
And it happens because I'm like, and a good thing, another thing about parenting page 3 day, I work first shift. I probably can't make it. But if it's parent, now dad can step in and help out.
Exactly. So no, because the kid might feel funny, because mom didn't come to this, but dad came to this one. But if they make it one event, parents with Patriot, then whatever parent that's available, especially if you have a busy parent who can't make it to those breakfasts, then all the kids are fulfilled. Or parent, like you said, parents and God is pastry or something like pastry day, breakfast pastry, where everybody is included. I don't care. I'm willing to work on this because I'm that kid. All of us have felt, even you when at your graduation, because you talked about this when you graduated from high school. Like all of us have felt a time where we felt abandoned by our family, and that's not a good feeling as a kid, and it affects you as an adult. It's certain things that happen to us as kids that we have to deal with as adults that forms us into the human beings that we are now.
Because everything that you do takes a different turn in your life and make you move.
It gives you a different world view.
Yes,
you see from a different perspective.
Exactly. We are, like I said, we just want everybody to be included. I had never thought about it. It never crossed my mind because I was not affected by it. And that's what we need to be open-minded to. So many things we are so far removed from, whether we know it or not, until it smacks us in the face. We need to be open to say, because what if all people thought like, well, cancel this then or cancel that then? We would not have made it as far as we did. Slavery wouldn't probably been abolished. Women being able to work probably wouldn't have happened. All these different advancements wouldn't have happened if somebody wouldn't have said, wait a minute, this don't affect me, but I can understand that. I can take a moment, step back and say, wow, I never thought of it that way. But
I know what we need to do, because sometimes, we talk about stuff, but we never put any action into it. So when we discuss something, action has to come behind it in order to have change. So schools have, and they email out, they have meetings where everybody can get involved and let them know. Yeah. So we need to get there. We need to encourage parents to go there, and we need to voice our opinion on it, because I'm pretty sure that they would agree, because I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot of people
experience this
who didn't know that this is happening.
Right. Or what about those kids who so tough on the inside? They learn to be so strong, right? Because they ain't told you can't cry, you can't be whining in the house. And they mask these feelings, and they dealing with this every day, and they dealing with these different things of disappointment because dad couldn't show up, or mom couldn't show up, or mom too busy, dad too busy, everybody else parents are there. They're involved. Kids see it. They understand what's happening. And whether you know it or not, they understand it. They feel it. When you stress, your kids feel it. When you're going through something, your kids feel it.
You don't support them.
Your kids feel it. Like so many people think if I don't say nothing to them, they don't know. They are right there with you.
I'm gonna tell y'all, I absolutely hated going to sports game. I thank God I don't have a son. But when my daughter did volleyball all during her junior high year, we was there. I hated it. Like, I hate having to be there. She don't know this, but but she older now, so she don't want to say no more. But I hated it. I hated to leave work and have to go sit out a game tired all night, or go to a early Saturday walk. She did Girls on the Run. Remember, she did
I love it though. I was like, oh
yeah. My daughter was the last person. I'm like, where's my daughter? I'm excited. My daughter. She was the last kid come around from the corner, ugly and crying. But mama was there. Some kids' mamas wasn't there when they made that. They did a 5K run. These was little kids. I think they was in like 4th grade, because it's called Girls on the Run. So you young, after a certain age, you age out. And they had to run a 5K, and we brought them there. We cheered them on the ground. We started walking, and all the parents just was waiting for their kids to come. And they was waiting for somebody to be there for them. And then some of them was crying because it was difficult. My baby was the last person who showed up with a grown up who pushed her to the end, crying. If mama wouldn't have been there, that could have crushed her for the rest of her life. But mama was able to be there to encourage her, to tell her, it's okay, babe, but you made it. You did it. You finished it. That's all that mattered, is that you finished it, babe. I was there. I want to be there. It was like early in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning. We had to be there Anybody who know me knows that I'm not a mourning person, but we make these sacrifices for our kids. Because we can't only make sacrifices for ourselves, for men, for our spouses, for the community, this and that, but not for our own kids that we're rearing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when we talked about this subject with donuts for dads and muffin for moms or pastries for dad, what you say what happened over there?
No, that was breakfast with dad is what that was. They
No, but it's all breakfast.
Yeah.
So, but when we said we had different names, you said something different, man.
It was muffin. It was no. I was saying we should do pastries and parents and pizza with parents.
Oh yeah,
they had muffins, moms and muffins and Danish and dads. And
so you see, that's what I said. Y'all had dad and dads. We got donuts and dads over here.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is we're not saying don't celebrate the moms and the dads. What we're saying is because most moms and dads can't get there because they're working, or some of them just don't come.
You just never know.
Because I was a kid who my dad lived in Chicago and my mom just didn't come. So I didn't have a parent to support me for nothing. My mom was coming for nothing. But to get me back in school if I got suspended because she didn't want me at home. And that's real.
And that's real. So my ask is, if nothing else, if you don't feel like your kids are affected, I want you to think outside of yourself, outside of your family, about the kids that are affected by this, because it happens. To share this video, let's put some action behind it. Let's start a petition. Let's reach out to the Board of Education.
No, they have the meetings for schools. What is it called? No, not the, being on the PTC, parents, or the board that they have, but they have where you come out to the city hall thing and talk among them. Me, when no one shows up for me when I play football. Oh, let's read this. Who is this? Tell us who you are, because you didn't accept it. What's the name? So we can easily say it says, it messed me up when no one showed up for me when I played football in middle school and high school. That's what I'm talking about. This is deep. This goes deeper than dismissing, because our kids are blessed to have these things happening in our life when we know how it feels because we experienced it.
Exactly. Because it's hurtful and it's traumatizing.
And it affects your whole life, how you deal with people. It can affect your relationship to make you not trust people. It can just really turn your life on a road of you constantly trying to heal yourself for something like that.
Wrong place for love. I had an old friend who constantly was looking for love from man figures, and she jumping into relationships hoping to have these different things, and they not working out, and she don't know why, and over again. And I said, I think you are looking for that dad love. And she said, you know what? I never thought of it that way, but I think so too, because I keep looking for this specific love, but I just cannot find it, because all her life she never had a dad. She never had a male figure there.
Because even though my dad was there, I still did not have a close relationship with my father. My father was raised in an era where men didn't show emotions, because he was 27 years older than my mother. So he was raised from Mississippi. Man wasn't allowed to cry, nothing like that. He didn't know how to express emotions. I mean, when we got older, we would force him to say, I love you back, because usually we would say, I love you, Daddy. He go, yeah. Talk to you later. But we were like, I love you, Dad. Sister Ray started that, but she was like, I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. And he like, yeah, I love you too. You know, he would say it. And that affected my brothers. Because I talked to one of my older brothers, and he wrote a status before too. That dad not showing him love affected his life. You know what I'm saying?
So guys, if you are a dad or mom, you involved, thank you.
Thank you. Your kids need it. We need you. We proud of, and I just want to say I'm so proud of our dad, especially our Black fathers, because a lot of misconceptions, a lot of stereotypes go out that just not true. When they found out that the statistics is really that the Black men are the most active men in their children's lives. It's just that the way the system was set up, when a woman needed help, they couldn't write down that their mans was in a house, even though their mans was in a house, because they wouldn't help them. So in order to get help when they were struggling, women would put down that they were single. So when they do these census and all that, they got the wrong information, baby, because our mans was there. We just didn't put them down. We couldn't write down because they wouldn't help us. But Black men is the most impersonal, active man in their kids' life, because other races are there with their kids, but they're not involved personally with that kid. So I want to thank you, Black man, and say that I see you. We appreciate you. We know you taking care of your kids no matter what they write in their statistics, because we know that they statistics and they polls, when they come up with them polls, oh, this amount of people said this. I'm like, well, when they had this, because I ain't writing it, you know.
The thing about numbers, they can be skewed.
Yeah. So, and I want to thank you, mothers, too, because I know that it has been a lot of men who abandoned their kids because you didn't want to put up with abuse, or just abandon their kids just because, or you might have lost their father or something, and you had to live as a single mom for whatever reason. You raised your kids, and for those parents that's together raising their kids, we want you to be celebrated too. The only thing that we're saying tonight is we don't want to. It make me uncomfortable to be celebrated as a mom, and I know that as a kid in the classroom or sitting on the side of my daughter who might not have a mom or a dad, crushed in the spirit
because they got nobody there.
Because they got nobody
We're not
there.
trying to exclude anybody. That's the whole point of this. We want to include everybody, and to include people, let's work to change it to pastries with parents, pizza with parents.
Yes.
Any parent or parent figure can show up for the kids, because it can be detrimental to their
Parent, any parent, anybody who they consider a parent, godparent can show up then. Anybody can show up, so all the kids feel inclusive. It broke my heart. My sister know how sensitive. I'm a sensitive person, you guys. I'm very, very sensitive. And so when she tried to read it to me, I said, I can't. Last night I couldn't take it. I said,
oh my goodness, I think this, but I just couldn't even deal because I never thought of it.
I can't feel comfortable going with some mommies with muffins, or Twan going to dad and donuts, knowing that it's a baby that's in the classroom crying to the teacher, or cried at home and was forced to go to school to watch this. Or it's a baby out there because they don't have a mom, or they might have lost their mom, and she crying because everybody there with their moms eating muffins at the breakfast table, and they don't have nobody. We're not saying stop it. We're saying let's change the name to make these kids feel like they're like a grandparent, a godparent, any parent, mom or dad, a guardian parent. Like anybody can show up for them at the for that breakfast. So what do you guys think about that? Comment, let us know your opinion. We're not trying to stop it. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is make sure nobody is left out. Exactly. Like they said, no child left behind, period. No child left behind. So thank you for joining us tonight. We're over our time that we like to go over. But we just, when we seen that kid, that parent wrote that, being brokenhearted watching her baby cry because she didn't have a dad, but dad in Danishes or dad in donuts, and that the baby cried so bad, didn't want to go to school. I would just let my baby stay at home.
And I think she did.
Yeah, but as a parent, that affects you. That would, I would have been crying too. It would have crushed me too, because it's not her fault that the dad's not involved, the mother fault, and there's nothing she could do because it was dad day. But if it was parents' day, then mom or dad can show up. Or godparent can show up, or you know what I'm saying? Like, cause people like, well, aunts and uncles can show up. People don't. From my family close, but every person I meet, they amazed with our family, how close our family is. They don't have a lot of people don't have family dynamics where they can trust or send an uncle or an aunt. So we can't just say like, oh, they can bring an uncle. Like, no, we need to make it where it's all inclusive for this breakfast, because most of the time, some of the people who on here probably ain't never even been to none of those breakfasts. Family day. You're right. I love that, Aunt Julia. Family day. Family day. So all, like, you know, a family day breakfast or some breakfast that include anybody. So that no kid is left behind. I'm pretty sure parents will like it, because most time when we have to go to stuff up there, we don't really want to do it.
Because like I said, I'm normally go for the first shift.
I work first shift too, so I have to just take that because I work for myself and in the family business. I can take like I'm gonna be late an hour or something and go to the school or something. But a lot of other people can't do that in reality. And the reality of it is that even though it's happening in neighborhoods that have fathers in the household, it's happening in the neighborhoods where 80% of the fathers are not in the household.
So thank you guys so much for joining us for Online Friday. As always, if you have a topic or something that's going on in the community that you want to discuss, drop it in the group that we have. If you don't know what the group is, inbox us so we can get you inside the group, or inbox Marie or myself. We are happy to do the research for you and bring it before you.
And I just would like to say, please comment and give us your opinions. And we will be posting information if you live in the Grand Rapids, Kenwood area on the days that they have like the meetings for everybody to come in. So we can try to get this more inclusive, so we can advocate for the kids who don't have a mother, who don't have a father, who don't have an uncle or aunt who can show up for these days and make it a family day. So anybody who you consider family can and who can come and support you, so that we don't have kids that's crushed for the rest of their life because they didn't have support.
Definitely.
You know, for a pastry. I don't even like Danishes. Well, I like Sam's Club pastries. That's it.
Yes,
But not the ones like the
all
candy
we
machine.
wanted.
And I was pretty mad that they made muffins for moms because I wanted the donuts Dads was getting. So you know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking about this. Why mom's got to eat muffins? We can't have donuts. And it's kids out there crying because they ain't even got a mama and daddy to show up. After all these years, my kids, 18 and 20, and that's what's my God. The strudels. Whatever we got to do, but we want to just make it all inclusive. Thank you for joining us. We love you. Please come out. Please share this, because if that one parent who we found status, how many more kids out there crying about this? Absolutely. So please share this, you guys. If you haven't subscribed, like our channel. Follow us, you guys. Add more people in the channel. Let's grow this year, you guys. We love you guys, and we will see you next Friday. Thank you. Thank you. Good conversation. We appreciate you for joining us. Thank you guys for your support. We love you. See you next Friday.